Building an aesthetic physique, it's not just a physical goal. It's proof that you can hold yourself to the highest of standards, a standard that most guys can't hold themselves to. And that standard doesn't just stay in the gym, it spills over into every area of your life. And in this video, I'm going to show you and tell you why all the highest performers I know have an aesthetic physique and why you should too. Most men use the excuse of not having enough time when it comes to hitting the gym, eating good quality food and looking after their daily habits to actually build an aesthetic physique. But the highest performers that I know, these guys are busy just as much as you are, if not busier, but yet they all make it non-negotiable when it comes to building that aesthetic physique. Because they know it goes far beyond what you see when you look in the mirror. It's actually about how you feel and how you show up every single day. That's where the real win is. Yes, walking into a room, having people respect how you look, walking in and before you even open your mouth, people respect you. That's a bonus, okay? That's your first impression for sure. But it's how you feel about yourself, how you show up, how you walk, how you talk, how you act, and the habits that you have installed into your daily life, that actually spills over into every other area. So what's the difference between the guys that show up and between the guys that use time as an excuse, or they always have an excuse why they can't build that physique? The guys that show up, they make it non-negotiable because they know the more you put into your physique in terms of tracking your nutrition, in terms of showing up to the gym, tracking your lifts, tracking your water, prioritizing your sleep, that is literally the highest leverage task that you can do as a career-driven guy, as a business owner. Because you become predictable. You have predictable energy. You have mental clarity. Your cognitive function improves. The list really goes on. And your business, 9 times out of 10, is going to be a reflection of you. It's going to be an extension of you. So if you're operating at a low standard, your business is going to operate at a low standard. And I know this from my own personal experience because I moved to Dubai, I think it was 2021 now, and I hit a good level of success at the time, which I was, for me, it was the dream. I was living my dream reality. But what happened? I built my business up to a good position. My physique, my training, my life was pretty fucking dialed in, to be 100% honest. I had my dream car, dream girlfriend at the time. I was living in a penthouse, not a penthouse, but a high rise in Dubai Marina. So it was sick. I was happy. I was like, I'm the man. But something slowly started to happen. My comfort started to kick in. I got complacent with my physique, with my nutrition. I was eating out more than I should have been. I wasn't training as hard as I should have been. My sleep was off. I was staying up too late, dicking about, going around Dubai, doing whatever you do. And what happened? I noticed then that everything around me started to crumble. And it didn't happen just like that, but it was like a slow death I was having. Because what had built my physique had essentially built my business, because it was the discipline, the structure, the high standards I was holding myself to my physique that was showing up in my business. But when I let those standards slip in my personal life, it showed up in my business life. And before you know it, fast forward a couple of months, my physique had gotten softer, my sleep routine was out of place, my creativity had completely gone, my energy, my habits, everything had just gone to shit. And with that, my business had slowly started to deteriorate as well. I started having less growth and a couple of down months, okay? And I realized very, very quickly, I was like, okay, I would consider myself to be self-aware. I think that's something that every single guy should be, is self-aware and be able to analyze their current situation. And that's exactly what I did. And I realized, okay, I'm getting fucking complacent here now. And where I'm showing up, where I'm slipping up most is actually my diet, is where I was slipping up the most. I was still training. I had a good baseline, but it was my diet where I was slipping up most. And I realized, okay, I need to get my diet absolutely dialed the fuck back in. Because if I don't, I'm just not going to be showing up as the best version of me each and every day. So from there, I'll be honest, guys, some vices kicked in as well. Like I had vices, you get a bit of money, you're in a big city. The vices can start to kick in as well. There's a lot of distractions. You're chasing dopamine hits, and like that all started to come in as well. Okay, and I realized, okay, I need to just sit and I just need to make sure that I get myself operating at the highest standard again. So what I did was I knew from the physique development standpoint, like, okay, what needs to happen from a physique development? I need to prime the body. I need to get 10% body fat. I need to reverse out of that dieting phase so I can actually maintain. And I then need to go into like a performance phase where I can actually maintain the level of physique and aesthetic physique, but I can actually perform at the highest standard as well and just compound growth in all areas. Okay. But what I then did was I was like, okay, I need to stack the habits on top of that. The physique is one layer. What's the habits that I can stack on top of that? What's the identity that I need to install that once I come out the other end, I actually maintain that and I don't let the vices creep back in. I don't let the bad habits, the old identity take back over. So now on top of that, what I stacked at this time was I stacked habits. The first step is you have to remove the vices. You need to get your hormones, your energy, your nervous system in the correct position to actually prime yourself to then go after what it is you want. That's when you prime your body as well. Then in the peak phase, when you get to that 10% body fat, we want to do the internal work alongside the physical work, because the internal work is what actually allows us to rewire our subconscious, rewire our paradigms, that once we hit that 10% body fat, we've seen it happen so many times. Like you've probably even yourself been in shape, but fall back out of shape, fall into shape, fall out of shape. But once you do the internal work with the external work, you get into shape. Your identity has caught up to the person that you're proving that you are. And then from there, you don't fall back out of shape. You go back into the reverse phase, which you install the systems that there's no rebound, no regression, because that's the most disheartening thing when you get into shape. I've been there. You get into shape, you fall out of shape, into shape, fall out of shape. So then you go into that reverse, you install the systems, no regression, no rebound. Then finally we get to that total control phase. Okay, and this is where you're compounding growth physically, mentally, and professionally, because you set up your diet in a way that you're optimizing for cognitive function, but you're optimizing for performance in the gym, that you're also maintaining that aesthetic physique. You're compounding growth in the gym, but your mental clarity, your focus is at peak level. You time your nutrition around your deeper work blocks, your supplementation stacks. Everything needs to be aligned to then focus on the professional side of things, okay? Because as I said, you go through the stages, but at the end of the day, we're business owners. What's our main priority? We don't really care about trying to hit new PBs, etc. We want to get the body to a position where we look aesthetic, good amount of muscle tissue, 10% body fat, but we can just focus on what we need to focus on, our business, our personal life. We don't want gym to become life. Gym is a tool to make our business better, to make our life better, but it doesn't need to be this obsessive thing that it's all or nothing, because that all or nothing approach is where most people fall off, and where most people, they can go all in for a couple of weeks, fall off for a couple of weeks. We use it as a vehicle to hold ourselves to a higher standard, to gain respect from the external world, but also have respect from the internal world. So as I said, all the highest performing guys that I know, they build the aesthetic physique because what it actually does for their lives. I've lived through it myself. I've been at a high standard, a low standard, and now I just stay at a high standard because I know the difference and the impact that it has on each and every area of my life. And most importantly, my business as well. Because as I said, if you're a business owner, business is a big part of life. So we want to use that as a vehicle to get us to where we want to be with our businesses, to give us that life that we're all after at the end of the day, and to just leave legacy behind, to leave impact behind, or to support your family, to make sure that your kids never have to fucking struggle for money like we did, whatever it might be. We're all in different situations, we all have different goals, but you operating at your highest standard, that's the key. So ask yourself now, when you analyze yourself, and just take that time to actually analyze yourself and be self-aware. It's like, are you holding yourself to a high standard with your physique? Do you think that if you got your physique to 10% body fat, you reversed out and you installed the correct systems, do you think that your business would improve, your personal life would improve, your energy would improve, your productivity, your cognitive function? For a small investment on a weekly basis, you can do 3 to 4 gym sessions per week. Get your diet set up in a way, get your structure set up in a way. It buys you back time. It makes you operate at a higher standard and has a direct impact on each and every area of your life. I promise you guys, if you just get that physique to that standard, you do the mindset work, you do the daily habits that need to get you there, it will have a positive impact. It will turn you into a fucking savage. And I know you can do that, and I want you to do it. So get the body, get the mind, get the habits right. Peace and love. See you in the next one.